Stephanie Giselle. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that like button to show some love, because your girl loves love. Today's video is going to be about pros and cons to aesthetic nursing. There's a lot of pros and cons, like anything in this world. Alright, so we're gonna start with a little bit of pros. The population, patients. So in the hospital setting, you may know a lot of patients are sick, or other than that, they're doing elective surgeries, etc. But majority of the time, they're sick. In the aesthetic world, in med spas, people majority of the time are just happy. So that's a pro, because you're having fun with it and usually in a good mood, and someone's not throwing their food tray at you, right? So that's a pro. Another thing is, compared to the hospital, the schedule is, I would say it's more work-life balance. You're able to get in at a decent time, get out at a decent time, unless you're like at a super busy med spa. Well, they're not usually 12-hour shifts, but they are, but they're not. It depends on the med spa you're at and seeing how, oh, she's so beautiful. Majority of the time, it's like normal work hours. Yeah, 9 or 10, it's beautiful. You don't go at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., 7 to 7. There are late days, so you would go in maybe to like 9 to 7, depending on the med spa again. But the schedule is much more workable with your life, because I did night shift when I worked in the hospital, and let me tell you, my work-life balance was complete boo-boo. The schedule is beautiful. Sometimes it's Monday through Friday and you don't have weekends, but then there's some places, again, it just depends on where you go, where you work. Sometimes you do have to work like a Saturday or Sunday, and that goes good if you are like commission based, because people are like more free and they're like, they want to get on the books more on the weekend, and yeah, that's a whole different story. Another pro is that you get to travel and go to networking events. You get to make friends, you get to drink a little champagne, you know. So it's fun, and then it's also a lot of learning. So they'll have like a day of like cocktail hour and just, you know, getting to network with your people. Another one is there's employee discounts. It depends whether you want to get the treatments or not. I think you should. Just because you can speak from experience. Sometimes it'll be not quote-unquote free. There's other times where they just give you a discount. But majority of the time, if you have another nurse with you, she can inject you. You just gotta ask your manager and make sure everything's okay to get some treatments. And they usually yes with some content, so you can promote it and, you know, business. You gotta get the business booming. The biggest pro is just you're helping people feel more confident, or almost like a little therapist and a best friend at the same time. So people come in and they confide in you, they're trusting you with their face. So you build that trust and you're making people feel really, really beautiful. So that, and then you just like, it's more of like the satisfaction you also get as a provider is looking at them, and then when you give them the mirror and you're just like proud of your work. The pay. Oh, so that goes hand in hand with, it's like a pro and con, because it does pay well. It just depends on, like, yet again, your schedule, your hours. I think there's a lot more flexibility with the pay when it comes to like the aesthetic world. However, it depends on your experience and if there's a commission structure, your clientele. If you have a lot of clientele, then, you know, your commission can be good. So cons, I do want to be a little transparent with you guys, and I need you guys to know to really dive into the location and place and the person you are going to be working for. Instagram, social media, you know, people put up a front. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. Make sure you know who you can and cannot trust. You cannot trust your coworkers, okay? Let me put that out there right then. Number one, you can barely trust. You know, people will, I feel like I have a lot to say on the drama, the toxicity, but then there's toxic environments in both the hospital and med spas. But I feel like the aesthetic industry they take their competition like as you're competing with your colleagues. No, you need to collaborate and, you know, literally have fun with it. Like, why would you try to take away patients from certain people? I personally, with my first 2 jobs at the 2 spas, I wasn't on commission 100%. Well, my second one definitely wasn't, so I was just hourly and I was just having fun. Like, I was just talking to people, doing my job, and getting that experience. And I don't want you guys to be like negative about it, but in reality, like, you just have to make sure who you really click with, the person you're working with, aka your boss. Really dive into the contracts that sometimes if you go into a med spa, they'll have you sign a contract, read the fine print, negotiate. You know, they're all looking out for themselves at the end of the day and their business, and that's a-okay, but you also have to look out for yourself and make sure things make sense. Going back to the contracts, it can also be a little costly, so you do have to take like extra courses to make sure you are up to date, but then you invest into your education. Working in the aesthetic world, if you're not working for a corporation, quote-unquote corporation, just a bigger business, you don't get benefits, so like your 401k. In one of my jobs, I did have the opportunity to do that, but you have to, again, have to be a full-time employee. Healthcare, your health insurance. If you're working for a smaller, usually a lot of boutiques don't have that, so you have to kind of get that addition like on the side, get that on your own or with your spouse. I felt like I left you guys hanging a little bit, so I'm gonna do a little mukbang mixed in with this little Q&A pros and cons thing. I'll take a bite first. I am starving. Hold on. Let's eat. The chicken teriyaki. Anyway, yeah, the main thing is that it's just different, okay? But you do carry on some skills you learn from the hospital. You are a nurse first, so patient safety always. And you know, some patients want to pass out because they're afraid of needles or they just didn't eat that day and they're just like super nervous. So give them the reality of it all. Beauty is pain. Cons, like job security. It depends if it's like a chain med spa, a small med spa. So if it's like a smaller med spa, like a startup, your security there, they can maybe go bankrupt, etc. So it's not ideal. Making sure your patients know what is possible and what's not. So they're not like, you do the procedure and then you're like, this is not what I asked for. This is not what I thought. Man. I think there was a few patients of the older population, like filler. One syringe of filler is like literally the size of a blueberry. So it's just like one syringe can cost up from to like minimum of like 600 up to like 1,000 depending which product and etc. So they're like, whoa, I need at least 2. It depends, okay? It's like, I'm not trying to go too in depth, but nonetheless, it's a lot of money that people are paying, so I get it. But yet again, set realistic expectations, period. But yeah, I feel like cons is that it's a different type of environment, okay? It's a lot of fun, but then yet again, there's a lot of people that like put up a front, so there's a little bit of drama, and like I'm just not that type of person where I'd like get along with someone to their face and behind closed doors. I'm like, oh my god, did you see that she does this? Or just other spa owners. I don't run my own med spa. Some people just try to like knock you down to make themselves feel better, So it's not really nice. Sometimes you just have to have tough skin and just like find your crowd. I found my people and I support them even though like I'm doing my own thing, being with my baby girl. I still have like my nursing page and I always support no matter what. I don't know if I want to get into it here or another video. We decided that for our household that it would be best for me to be a stay-at-home mommy with my baby. I don't regret it. It's been like almost 6 months. Yeah, almost 6 months. Crazy. I love it. I'm not missing a thing. And I felt like postpartum, hormones, etc. Like I just couldn't be away from baby. And I loved the aspect of like still continuing to like work. Just make sure when you do get a job there, it all makes sense financially, because some people will try to like take advantage of you. So find injectors in that same state that you're in and DM them, you know, like on average, how much did you start out with, etc. Because I know in every state it's different. To be honest, I feel like initially you could start with like a higher hourly and then gradually go into like a commission and hourly, or just commission if you got it like that. Just make sure you find your own crowd, support your girls. The beautiful part is that you're a nurse and you can do injecting part-time, maybe like a day or two, and then work in the hospital and then like still inject, and then it depends what route you want to take. Another con I feel is that it's a med spa, and if you don't have a lot of experience and you have like an adverse reaction or something, you sometimes don't have that support, which you should. But there's instances where they say they're gonna train you on everything, and then they kind of just like briefly go over it once and like expect you to do it. So that's like, I work really well in fast-paced environments, but I have to like kind of like do the whole thing. Like I want to see you do it, I want to do it, I want to, you know, not just do it once and then like be off to the wolves. Like I want to be able to like get some practice. So just make sure you have a lot of practice, and some kind of people just want to just throw you and then. But overall, there's a lot of like nice people. That's kind of like what pushes you to like stay. But God has other plans for me right now, and I'm enjoying it all. That was kind of like a mini tiny update on my life, and then pros and cons, so like job security. It's like depending on where you are. It just depends on your perspective on how you view everything. I do feel that it's a great field to go into. It's growing, so there's jobs like crazy everywhere for the most part. If you have any questions, let me know. I don't know if I touched base with everything, but I feel like I got a good overview of pros and cons. If you want something more specific, comment down below and let me know what I can do to answer that question for the next videos. Again, thank you guys for your support. We are thriving together, loving each other, and supporting one another. As always, love you guys. See you next time.